late 1979, thousands of anti-American protesters in Iran are gathering outside the U.S. Embassy. Demonstrations against America are common. Iran is still in the throes of an Islamic revolution, and America is being accused of aiding and abetting the hated exile dictator, the Shah Reza Pahlavi. This is one of hundreds of protests organized by militant revolutionary students. But this time, it's different.
Few of them had makeshift weapons, bike chains or a baseball bat, though some of them did have pistols. Massive crowd, 1,000 people, roaring, "Down with America, death to Carter."
Inside the embassy, staff can see the disturbance from the office windows. Shortly after 9 a.m., the chains of the gate are cut. A small breakaway group of student militants heads for the main embassy building, the Chancery.
They broke the window and they were able to enter into the basement. The Iranians made their way up to the second floor. I captured some Americans and said, "Let us in, otherwise, we'll harm these people."
Adjacent to the Chancery is another building, the consulate. Inside, there are still more Americans. One of them is Mark Lyjak.
We started hearing kind of a hubbub coming from the waiting area. People talking about demonstrators roaming inside the compound.
Mark Lyjak's wife, Cora, is also in the consulate.
We did hear footsteps on the roof, and we thought that maybe somebody was going to try to get in and find access into the building, so that was a bit scary.
Oh, the lights went out. Apparently the demonstrators had gotten into the power station and cut off the power.
Someone threw a brick or a rock through the window, and the Marine went running in and saw a guy climbing up a ladder.
The diplomats now realize that the embassy compound is completely overrun by demonstrators. At first, one of the U.S. Marines guarding the consulate advises them to stay inside the building. They hear on the radio that armed militants are trying to kidnap the rest of the Americans. They now know that they're in grave danger. They must escape fast.
They realized that the Chancery had been broken into and that they really couldn't hold out any longer.
They're advised to head to the nearby British embassy with the help of a local Iranian guide. So they make their way to a side door of the consulate that leads directly onto the streets of Tehran. Only steps away are thousands and thousands of angry Iranian protesters. Among the first out are Mark and Cora Lyjak.
When I first left the embassy, I was certainly nervous. I felt very conspicuous.
We were trying not to stand out. We were trying to blend in with the people that were walking away.
Step by step, trying to get away.
They are followed by Joe Stafford, his wife Kathy, and Bob Anders. The five avoid the angry crowds, now behind them, and head southwest towards the British embassy, led by their Iranian guide.
She pulled me to the side, and the rest of our group also went to the side, and she says, there's a demonstration, we can't go there.
We saw a demonstration there, so we decided that was not a good idea.
In the end, they head to Bob Anders' apartment and remain there, terrified of stepping back onto the streets of Tehran.